Alright, welcome back to another video. Doing not really an update here, but I'm just putting out a new video here on how I clean wheels and tires. And this is more of a demonstration purpose. It's not necessarily about the products I am using, but what I'm using to clean the wheels is Adams Eco Wheel Cleaner. This is a wheel cleaner that is delicate for is safe for delicate wheels, and also is not going to be as harmful on your brake components. There's a lot of wheel cleaners out there that contain a lot of different chemicals. A lot of the more aggressive ones are going to be an acid-based cleaner, which does a really great job at cleaning, but is harmful not only to potentially your wheels, especially if you have a non-OEM wheel. A factory wheel like this is clear coated. So typically most acid wheel cleaners are going to be safe. However, they still can stain, but you're also going to damage your brake components. When I got this car, I bought it used. It was 3 years old, 19,000 miles, 20,000 miles on it, and the brake rotors themselves were so corroded around the brim and that the flat portion there. It was just absolutely corroded. My guess is probably from acid wheel cleaners. Maybe they ran it through a car wash from time to time. And that stuff's just not good. It cleans well, but it's just not good for your brake components. So for those that maintain their cars, you don't need those aggressive wheel cleaners. I could theoretically probably wash this wheel with soap and water. If you wash your car once a week, every other week, even probably once or twice a month, you probably would be able to get away with washing it with just soap. But I like to use some type of wheel cleaner because these wheel cleaners do come with great lubrication, so it just helps reduce the risk of scratching the wheels. Again, I use this because it's made for delicate wheels, so it doesn't contain any of those harsh chemicals that are going to cause corrosion and eat away at the at the finish of your brake components. Because over time, if you use acid wheel cleaners on a consistent basis, you're gonna take a look at your brakes and all your hardware, and it's just gonna be all corroded. That's just something for professional detailers that detail cars for wheels that haven't been cleaned in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, whatever the case might be. That's what acid wheel cleaners are reserved for. They're reserved for cars where they're not maintained regularly, and as a professional detailer, you got to get the job done. You can't spend an hour on each wheel trying to remove the brake dust. Those acid wheel cleaners are going to be your friend there. But for those that maintain their car, you do not have to have those harsh wheel cleaners at all. Like I said, you can use soap and water if you really wanted to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the tire. I'm just using a all-purpose cleaner for that. Tire's not terribly dirty. The dressing on it is still beating water pretty good. It's not shiny, but it's not completely worn off yet, which is what I like. So we'll clean the wheels here first, or to clean the wheels and tires. Show you guys a demonstration here. So what you can do, you can rinse everything down first. However, what I like to do is I like to hit the tires first, let the cleaner go right to the tire itself, because if you wet it with water, it's just going to dilute your product even further. So I like to hit the tires first. Nothing scientific here, just spray down the tire. Okay, and I got my bucket here with soap. Got a couple brushes I'll be using. This here is stiff brush, good for tires, but it's not aggressive that it's going to scratch the tire or put indentations in it. Give this a quick scrub. Make sure you get, if your tires have this little thing on the end here, this curb rash protector they call it, make sure you get in there. Okay, so now what I can do is, since the tire's clean, now I can rinse everything down. I can rinse down the wheel to get as much brake dust off as possible. But again, I like to do that first because it lets the cleaner, go straight to the, straight to the tire. I'm gonna turn the pressure washer on. And you can use a hose too. You don't have to have a pressure washer to do this. It just makes it a lot easier. And while I'm here, I'm going to hit the wheel wells. Okay. Now again, when cleaning wheels, this is kind of self-explanatory, common sense, but you don't want to wash your car, especially the wheels, when you've just driven the vehicle, because the brake rotors are going to be very hot. Not only is your cleaner going to dry very quickly, it could potentially even stain. Even something maybe like this, I don't know, I haven't tried it, I'm not going to, but you're risking potential staining on your wheel that you have to polish off. So don't do this on a hot wheel, hot rotor. So you just spray it down. So you get all the areas, getting the lug nuts, getting the barrel. Okay. Also, wheel cleaners that have that turn purple, the iron remover, again, that is not good for your brake components. If you have an older car and you don't care as much, that's fine. You're looking for something easy, but if you want to maintain a nice looking wheel, these brakes are pretty new. I put them on about a month ago, so I want to keep these rotors, want to keep this silver, looking as nice as possible for as long as possible. I like to brush that down a little bit. This is called a nut job. haha-nutjob.com is the name of the website. This is a nice lug nut brush. This is like a flexible plastic piece that's like cut, has like indents in it. This is really nice. This is like a sock material almost, or like a mitten, like a glove. This looks really nice for getting in the lug pockets. Okay. And I just take an ordinary microfiber towel, and it's the old microfiber dedicated for wheels. You want to keep your paint wheels and you want to keep your paint towels and your wheel towels separate. You don't want to use them. You don't want to use the same towel on all surfaces. I always say you need microfibers to detail a car, so you might as well get a lot of them. I call these throwaway towels. I typically get these at like BJ's, Costco type of towel, and they might last 2 or 3 months, maybe a little more. Once they get old, then just throw them away and just open up a new one. They're inexpensive. I don't spend crazy money on towels that I'm using for wheels and tires, but I will spend a little more on towels that I use on the paint, and those towels will last years. I have some towels that I use on the paint that I've had for 4 or 5 years, and they're still really nice and still very plush. Because what happens, cheaper quality microfiber over time will start to get kind of like, not coarse, but it'll start to not be as soft anymore. So once that starts happening, this happens to these very quickly. That's when I throw them away, because that's when they can start scratching. So now I got the wheel face done. You can use a barrel brush here. I like this because it's at an angle, so you can maneuver it, get behind the spokes. It's long enough that it reaches all the way to the back of the barrel here. I just like to go in here, agitate, dip it in the bucket. Make sure you get behind all your spokes. If you have tighter clearances, this is not like a collapse, like some of these brushes that collapse down into really thin. This is not one of them. This is kind of like a woolly material. So if you don't have a lot of clearance between your caliper and your wheel, you might have to get one of those brushes that collapse down, but there's enough gap between the caliper and the wheel that I can use this and not have to worry about anything. But like I said, I like the gap, or I like the angle of it. So get that all done. Make sure you get all around. And why it's important, like I said earlier, to not work on a hot wheel. This wheel's not hot. Car hasn't been driven for 4 or 5 hours. The cleaner is starting to somewhat dry, but there's soap mixed in here, so it's not going to stain. But if this wheel were hot, that cleaner would have been dry a while ago. Now you rinse it down. you're done. And again, another reason, acid wheel cleaners, I'm not dogging acid wheel cleaners. Like I said, they have their purpose. But if you're using an acid wheel cleaner, you need to make sure that you thoroughly rinse everything down, because any cleaner that does not rinse away and it stays on any metal component in here, your caliber, pins and brackets, your suspension components. If it sits on any of those surfaces, it will corrode. It will start to corrode into that metal, and that's how you get premature corrosion on those surfaces if you don't thoroughly rinse off an acid wheel cleaner. But that's pretty much it. If you maintain your wheels, like you always hear me talk about, maintenance is key. Just with like anything, you maintain your car will go a lot of miles for you. If you don't maintain your car, it's not going to drive, and you're going to have to spend money, getting it repaired. Same thing with washing it, detailing it. If you do it on a regular basis, I'm not saying you have to do it twice a week. I'm not saying you have to do it every week. 2-3 times a month, that's all you got to do. And this stuff will be easy to clean. You don't have to break out the harsh cleaners, the harsh chemicals. You don't have to spend an entire weekend detailing your car because you've neglected it for so long that you have to spend so much time on every single area. Maintenance is key. And having good protection on your rims also helps. I have a video on how easily you can protect wheels. Obviously the easiest way is pulling them off, putting some type of ceramic coating, on the spokes, on the barrel. But, if someone doesn't want to do that, I have a video on an easy way that you can keep protection on your wheels so that when you go to wash it, it's just much easier to clean. And again, you don't have to break out a crazy chemical, to get the job done. Something like this, is perfectly fine. You can use an all-purpose cleaner too if you want. You can use soap and water. That probably will get the job done. I have ceramic brake pads on this. I got a whole ceramic kit, so there's very little dusting, which is really nice. So if you're due for a set of brakes, maybe spend a little extra money, get the ceramic pads. They're not that much more than regular pads, and you'll notice how much less brake dust you have to deal with on a regular basis. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Again, this is just kind of just an update here. Cleaning wheels and tires. Just how simple it can be. It doesn't have to be complicated. And again, if it's something you're doing on a regular basis, you do want to stick away from your acid wheel cleaners, the wheel cleaners that turn purple. When it activates with the brake dust. Leave those for the paint. Leave that stuff for the paint. Iron removal for your paint. Don't be using that on your wheels unless you don't care, or it doesn't bother you, whatever. But for our car enthusiasts, we want to have a nice looking set of brakes, behind our wheels, not something that's all corroded and rusty. So again, very easy process. Takes typically 5, maybe 10 minutes per wheel, and you're done. Nothing complicated. No heavy duty scrubbing. Just pressure washer, and again, you can do this with the hose. You don't have to have a pressure washer. Pressure washer just makes it easier. It rinses off quicker. It gets it's able to spray the stuff out of your wheel wells without having to go crazy scrubbing. But if you have a hose, the hose will do just as well. Just make sure you thoroughly rinse everything down so that you're not leaving any cleaners behind. Have a good one, guys, and we'll catch you in the next video.